Hi everyone, my name is Alex Chan and I am the Mental and Behavioral Health Specialist for the University of Maryland Extension. And today my topic for Mental Health Awareness Month is going to be saying no. Saying no is a big part of our mental health, yet a lot of us have some pretty big hangups with being able to actually say no when we need to. Saying no can protect us, saying no can save us energy for the things that are important to us. Saying no can even help preserve our relationships. And I'm going to be talking for the rest of this video about why it's so important. But first, I want to get at why is it so hard? Toddlers say no all the time. That's one of the first words they say, and they say it a lot. And I think the developmental psychologist's point of view on that is that it gives them power. So why should we as adults give away our power by not saying no? Well, I think that has to do a lot with fear. And for most of us, there is a fear of disappointing others. Saying no can sometimes be a disappointment. And where we get hung up and we end up saying yes to things that we don't mean to is because we're fearing letting other people down. Whether it's at work, and worrying about how we're viewed at work, or whether it's in a close relationship and not wanting to see the disappointment in a loved one's face. Disappointment is not something that we welcome into our lives. However, it's a myth that you are never allowed to disappoint people. You can, once in a while, disappoint people, and it does not make you a bad person. It's okay to let people down once in a while. Maybe you understand on some level, but it's hard to act on it, but that's something that we have to try to repeat to ourselves. It's okay once in a while to let other people down. So when we start really believing that, it frees us up, because as long as you believe that it's never okay to disappoint people, then you're going to be trapped into saying yes all the time. So you have to start with reminding yourself that it's okay, and they will get over it, and I will get over it when I have to say no. And again, remind yourself too that saying no protects you. It protects your mental health. It saves you energy for the things that are important for you. And it can actually help prevent future relationship conflicts. A lot of resentment and ill will happens in relationships, work and personal, where somebody hasn't said no, and so they keep doing things that they don't really want to do, and they end up resentful, which can spark a lot of conflicts in the future. So it's not only good for you, it's good for the relationship that you're in, even when you're saying no. So how do you do it? Well, saying no really just has a couple steps. The first is to acknowledge whatever the person is asking you to do. And the second is to just say that you'd prefer not to do that. So what does that look like? Well, one example might be, let's say someone, this is an easy example, wants to go to the movies and you don't really want to do that. You want to be more active. Acknowledging the request in a non-judgmental way would sound like, yeah, I know it's been a long time since we've sat down and watched a good movie, but I'd prefer today if we did something a little more active. So you see, it's short. You're not apologizing for having your preference. You're just saying, this is my preference. And that's huge. We want to make sure that we're not apologizing for the fact that we have our own needs and boundaries. What would be another example? Something that probably comes up a lot in right now, as the COVID restrictions in a lot of areas are starting to be lifted. Somebody might want to go to a crowded place or maybe do some indoor dining, and maybe you aren't ready for that yet. So you might say something like, oh, I know how, I miss going out and being around the energy of other people too. I really miss that. But I'm not comfortable doing that until all of us in the family are vaccinated, or unless we can, get an outside seat or something like that. So you can see that even in that example, it's short. You're not apologizing for having the preference, but you are acknowledging the motivation behind that other person's request, that they want to go out and have be around people and reclaim some normalcy. So you can be sensitive and assertive at the same time. And the key is to practice this early, because maybe you have said no recently, but maybe it's been a no out of like panic and being overwhelmed than a no of preemptively setting your boundaries. So when you panic and say no, that just kind of leads to the guilt, and maybe you didn't say it in the right way. Maybe you freaked out and were yelling, and I don't know. But panic no's aren't going to go as well as this preemptive assertive no. And as you practice the preemptive assertive no that I just gave examples of, you will get better at it. And that voice that's telling you that you are not allowed to disappoint others, or that you have to always go along with other people, that voice will get quieter. And you will be able to do life in the way that works better for you, rather than always going along with what other people are requesting of you. So again, in summary, it's okay to say no, even when it disappoints people. It doesn't make you a bad person. You're not going to be disappointing people all the time, every day. And practicing it will save you energy and save your relationships. So I encourage you to go out today and say no, and get that practice in. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.